Dr. Sharma, I've been doing a little bit of research on Hinduism, following our discussions, and I discovered that the word Hindu is not a Hindu word. Does that make sense?
Take words out of my mouth. Actually, it's a line I use in my own right.
Oh no!
Anyway, that's fine.
So I was reading your work, and then I found out that there's this other word, Sanatana, that Hindus
Prefer to
use. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
The Sanatana. Yes, it is true that Hindus prefer to use the word Sanatana Dharma for their own religion, and sometimes also Vedic Dharma. So the word Sanatana, of course, is a Sanskrit word, and it has the meaning of, well, it has several meanings. It has the meaning of eternal, something which lasts, something which is continuous, something which is eternal. There's those shades of meaning. Now, when the Hindus apply it to their own tradition, it could, with the use of some imagination, be applied in at least three distinct contexts. I think the most important would be the belief of Hindus that their tradition, their religion, is an eternal religion. This is a fairly common belief among believers in many religions, that in some way, some form our religion has always been around. Yeah. And the Hindus have that. And just as all the other religions try to explain in terms of their own theology, how it has been around, how it is eternal in some sense, the Hindus have their own theological explanation. That explanation broadly runs as follows. The universe we see right now, the universe we live in now, is not the first time a universe has manifested itself in the cosmos. The Hindu belief is that the universe is beginningless and endless. But it is not a straight line, in the sense that there are periods during which it is in quiescence, and that there are periods it is a manifestation, like the alternation of day and night. The day we are full of activity and all, and then everything goes quiet, and another day comes. So this is how the universe has always been and will always be, and we can call it a pulsating universe. Now their view is that their holy texts, called the Vedas, are also eternal, like this universe. In terms of this pulsating nature of the universe, what according to them happens is that as the universe goes into occlusion, occultation, the Vedas also go in the same state. But when the new manifestation of the universe is to appear, they also appear along with the universe. And it is the role of God as the quote-unquote creator of the universe. You can see why Hindus prefer the word releaser, who releases the universe into being, because it's always been there, so there's no real creation. So, along with creation, the Vedas appear and are revealed to the sages. Hinduism's foundational texts are the Vedas. The Vedas are eternal in this way. And therefore Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion. You could raise very interesting philosophical points at this moment, that we call, Hindus claim that the ultimate reality is also eternal. When I also say the universe is eternal, and you and I, jivas, are eternal. Karma is without beginning. You and I are without beginning, the jivas. So how is our eternality? Well, is there any difference between our eternality and the eternality of the ultimate reality? And if so, what is it? So it's a relevant question. The Hindu answer is that there are two kinds of eternalities, which might be called fluid eternality and fixed eternality. There are Sanskrit terms for these. The best way of explaining the differences is to visualize a rock which has been last for ages, and a stream flowing by that rock, which has also been flowing for ages. The rock represents solid or rock-like or transcendental eternity, unchanging. A river represents constantly changing eternity, flow eternity, you might say. Mm-hmm. So ours is the river kind of eternity. Ours, the universe's. The ultimate reality is eternality, is the rock kind of eternality. So by extension, you could even say, interpret the term Sanatana in a Hindu context in these two ways. It is Sanatana Dharma in that there is an ultimate reality called Brahman, and that is like the rock. Its eternality is like the rock. And that is the ultimate reality in Hinduism, so Hinduism becomes Sanatana. But there is more oftenly used characterization is in terms of the flowing eternality, the Vedas, a religion based on the Vedas, and therefore eternal, in the sense that from every age, every manifestation of the universe, it continues.
I think you said at the beginning that there were three ways in which the word is used.
If there is
that
any other sense in which.
And what are the other?
Okay, so this is one context, three contexts. So there is one context in which you can call it another. The other context in which it could be called Sanatana, in a somewhat modern context, and especially as a religious tradition, which you might call the Hindu religious tradition, and as a tradition within one period of that manifestation, meaning our present universe, in this universe. In that context, the historically interesting thing about the Hindu religious tradition is that it has no founder, single founder. You might claim, in a sense, that the seers to whom the Vedas appear at every creation could be in some sense viewed as the founders of the tradition, because the Vedas appear to them exactly as they are in the previous manifestation, or they were rather in the previous manifestation. But historically speaking, there is no point at which you can say that Hinduism arose at this moment, because beliefs and practices which are present in modern day Hinduism can be traced back to even 3rd century, and third millennium, what we call BC, before the Common Era, or even before Christ. Modern historians think that the Vedas came into being after this, the Vedas. But even in this period, much anterior to, according to modern scholars, we have a culture which has artifacts which show the Hindu way of salutation, namaste, which shows partings in the hair of women with red color in them, which they even put now, especially married ladies are supposed to do that. And a host of other things, including yogic positions, worship of the mother goddess, and so on. So in this sense, Hinduism is a continuous tradition without a break. Whereas Islam has a founder, Christianity has a founder, Buddhism has a founder, Hinduism has no such founder in the present acceptation of the historical record. It's a continuous tradition, and therefore it can be called Sanatana. Because one of the meanings of the word Sanatana is not just eternal, but continuous. There is even a third way in which the tradition could be now called Sanatana. And actually has been called Sanatana even earlier. In order to appreciate this third meaning, we need to discuss a basic distinction within Hinduism of those duties which are incumbent on us as belonging to a certain station in life, like my being a teacher, your being a student, or to being a certain stage in life, like you are being in the stage of being a student, my being like almost ready to retire. Hinduism is very conscious that what is appropriate conduct in one stage of life may not be appropriate for another station in life. And what is appropriate for somebody in one station in life, like for me as a teacher, may not be appropriate for somebody in another stage in life, a student. It's very conscious of this. These are called varnashram dharmas, duties which are specific to a person's stage in life and to the class into which the person falls. There is a common misconception that Hindu ethics is confined to these. However, Hinduism has a very clear-cut category which is mentioned along with the varnashram dharmas. And this category is described by using 4 terms. Sometimes it is called sadharana dharma, sometimes it is called samanya dharma, sometimes it is called samasik dharma, and sometimes it is called sanatana dharma. These are those duties which are obligatory on all human beings, irrespective of their stage in life and their station in life. And these are telling the truth, not committing violence, being patient, and so on. They're basically the 10 Commandments without the first 4, which relate particularly to Judaism or to Christianity. The common moral virtues which we all cherish. Because the word Sanatan is used for those qualities, and because people tend to overlook the fact that Hinduism has those qualities emphasized as a part of moral life, and because of the fact that in pre-modern Hinduism, it could be argued that the specific duties had somehow come to be prioritized over the more general and common duties in the Hindu world. It's possible to make that argument. And because it could be said of Gandhi's contribution to Hinduism that he highlighted the common virtues, he foregrounded the common virtues like ahimsa, satya, non-violence, truth, that Hinduism might wish to call itself Sanatana Dharma in this new sense, to overcome the misunderstandings which, unfortunately, in the modern world are sometimes associated with it. Well, I'm afraid my analysis may have strayed into advocacy at some points in my discussion, but that is because I'm an engaged Hindu.